So here we are in the London gaming market, and I've been here for 25 minutes and I found absolutely nothing. Nothing to add to my Mega Drive collection. Little did I know, but that was all about to change. Ooh, third-party IR controls here, but not for that price and not in this condition. So like I said, I'm wandering around the show for about 20 minutes looking at the different stores. I find nothing. There's plenty of Mega Drive stuff there, I've just got it all. And then I walk past the Console Passion store and meet Roger. Now Roger runs the Extreme Mega Drive Collectors Group on Facebook, and he pulls something off the shelf that's very special. A rare big box item. Now, it's in pretty poor condition. It's pretty beat up. But I look at this thing and I think, do you know what? I could probably fix that for the right price. So I asked Roger how much it costs, but he needs to check with the store owner first. So while I was waiting for this Mega Drive item to get a price on it, I went for a little wander. And it wasn't long after that I got my first Mega Drive pickup. And it's a big one. So I walked past the store where an old Sony colleague of mine is selling some stuff. And one of the things he's got for sale is this. A 𝗴𝗺𝗶𝗴𝗲 Sega Mega Drive Mark I. So this is the first pickup from the London gaming market, and it's a really great piece to add to the collection. I didn't expect to be picking up a Asian 𝗴𝗺 Mega Drive Mark I at all. I thought this is a console that I'll pick up later in the collection's life cycle, maybe next year sometime, but you know, I couldn't pass this up. It's in great condition. Now I have done a card wash. This isn't where I get soap and bubbles and wash it down. It's a pH neutral, kind of very slightly damp cloth that you rub over. And what it does is, especially on the Japanese and Asian boxes where they've got this white cover, it gets really dirty and grimy where people are holding it. So scrub that down and got all the brown off the edges there. But the quality of the box is fantastic. It's really, really nice. Really like it. So just a little bit of a cleanup. And of course, because this is a white box, any scuffing that you could normally see on the European black Mega Drive boxes, you don't actually see at all in here because it's white card with white print over the top. But it's got the sticker, great console. Obviously this one, I think you can play every region with this. Let me know in the comments if that's completely wrong. I'm not too up on my Asian specific 𝗴𝗺 variants, but I think you can play every game with this console here. Inside we've got all the polystyrene pieces. Now the polystyrene was slightly damaged, and so I've done some cleanup on the polystyrene here, just so it doesn't look as damaged. But the console's in great shape. I did a bit of a deep clean on it, took it apart, just cleaned out the inside, cleaned out between all the kind of rocker switches here and the sliding switches over here where dust generally gets into the console. But apart from your normal dust that you find on any Mega Drive console, great condition. Missing the bag, unfortunately, but hopefully I'll replace that in the future. Controller in there, great condition. Rebagged it though, so I've got plastic bags that I can customize. So I cut them and I melt the edges. I've got like a machine that I can melt and build custom bags with. So I rebagged that, rebagged the power brick over here as well, just cleaned that up as well. Now this came with a SCART cable, and I'm pretty sure originally they came with mono AV cables. I'm pretty sure of that. So I'll probably get myself a mono AV cable to go in here as well. This came with elastic bands, so I've changed all the elastic bands for black wire ties, just like you've got for the original Mega Drive. So black wire ties, replica bags that are very, very close to what you get. The only other thing I'm missing is the kind of registration paper and the kind of manual, which I think was like a couple of bits of paper. But over time, I'll pick those up and then I'll have a nice, complete PAL Asian Mega Drive. I think it's time to go back to that stand and see if he's actually got a price now for that game. PAL Asian Sega Mega Drive in hand, I decide it's time to go back to Console Passion's store and meet up with Roger to find out if he's got a price for this mystery item. Now with luck, it's still there and we've got a decent price for it. And it was actually the big box version of Where in Time is Carmen Sandiego. Now I have the big box version of Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego here. So adding Where in Time is Carmen Sandiego big box collection will complete the set. But like I said, it's in poor condition. But I decide to take the plunge and we go off to make a deal. But along the way, he shows me a few more games. No, I've got most of these. Yeah, I've got most of these. I think what I'll do, mate, is I'll just take the Carmen Sandiego. So I'm browsing through the buckets of games and there's nothing there that I want. I've got all of it anyway, so I just ask if we can go off and pay for Where in Time is Carmen Sandiego. And then Roger points to the top shelf of a games rack that I didn't see. And oh my God, every single game up there I needed. And all I was doing was that one, that one, that one. And as long as it came complete in box, then I was buying it. Now, only half of them from the ones that I picked were complete in box, but if they were all complete in box, I would have added about 12 games to the collection. So with the games in hand and the big box version of Where in Time is Carmen Sandiego in hand, we go off to see if we can haggle out a deal. Now altogether, I ended up paying for 6 games, including Where in Time is Carmen Sandiego, the big box variant. I ended up paying £62 on average for each game, which is an absolutely amazing deal. So let's take a look at some of these games. Let's start off with the sequel to this, Where in Time's Carmen Sandiego. So you can see the box is quite damaged, and I wouldn't usually take a box in this condition, but it's really rare to get hold of one of these, and I thought it could make it look a little bit better, kind of like another fixer-upper project. So what we've got, damage on the front here. You can see there was a label here, so somebody's tried to peel that off and just caught that as well. So I'll try and remove some of this glue here. Don't know what I'm going to do there. Big rips down here, card separation here, rips there, card separation. Overall, kind of white cracks all over the place. Again on the back, card separation, tears all the way, massive tear down the side here, and it started to fray. Same at the bottom, big tear in that label there, and then this is being cut out at the bottom here, so quite a bit of work to do on that as well. Overall, the structure of the box is okay. You know, like this is fairly clean, the sides are fairly clean, big tear there, that's fairly clean. So I think I can do a good repair job on this. So here it is repaired. What I've done is I've glued up all the tears and then compressed the cardboard down so it's made it nice and flat again. I've got rid of a lot of the scuffs that were all over the card, so the card looks nice and clean again. And it really's come back to life. Now, the things I haven't fixed this little bit of damage here. I know how to do it, but I just don't have the skills to do it or the materials to do it. And on the back here, you can see there's a bit of a repair on this bit of card here, but I haven't repaired that. For the same reasons, I can do it, but I'm not confident in my skills to replicate the colors exactly and without it looking a little bit noddy. But everything else I was very confident in. I thought I could get this looking half decent again. I think that's what we've got here. This is a decent looking version of the box, the big box version of 𝗴𝗺𝗀𝗃𝗃 is San Diego. And it is a rare piece to get hold of. So if in the future a better one comes my way, then I shall probably upgrade to that and see if someone in the community, specifically someone who pointed to this to me in the first place, wants to get their hands on this. But otherwise, if I don't, I'm happy with this. This looks good. It looks really nice. Let's have a quick look at what you get inside. So just inside the box here, we obviously get the game. And this game is pretty minty. Manual's in great condition, so is the sleeve and the cartridge. And there's a registration card. Now I added the registration card for that. And then inside we have the almanac here, or the encyclopedia. And apart from a bit of a bend here in the cover, it's in really, really, really good condition. Really good condition. The first blue spine pickup of the show was this Star Trek Deep Space Nine. Love the condition of this. Really hard game to get hold of. Really hard. Or at least I found it difficult. Manual's in good condition. There's a little bit of folding in the corner there, but nothing too critical, and the cartridge is in good condition as well. But I do like Star Trek, and I think this is the only Star Trek game that you can get in PAL regions. I think if you're in the Genesis, I think they had Next Generation as well, which is really surprising because Star Trek Next Generation was huge in Europe. Radical Rex was the next game on the shelf that I added to the collection. I've only had a little time with Radical Rex. It's an okay game from what I've played so far. This game here is in pretty good condition again. Little bit of wear on the corner there, but I'm good with that. I don't need minty games. Good condition games are what I'm looking for. I like to see that they've been played and not just been stuck in cellophane on a shelf for 30 years. But yeah, I haven't had enough time with it. So far, an okay-ish game. Pink goes to Hollywood. Not in the best of conditions, but I think I can work some magic. Now this game, as you can see, is a little bit dirty and damaged. We've got rental stickers all over it, and I don't like that. I need my games to be in a decent kind of condition, right? They don't have to be perfect, but in good condition. Good to very good would be great. But this certainly isn't. So I've done a little cleaning, and this is the result. As you can see here, all the dirt's gone from that manual there. We've cleaned up those stickers, we've cleaned up the label. I can't get rid of the numbers, I've managed to fade them a bit, but it's a lot better. As we look at the game now, I'm pretty happy with it. There's color fading on here. If I turn it over, you can see that's the color. It's supposed to be this yellow color, so it's quite faded. So definitely something I'll look to swap out in the future. But whoever gets this version of the game now will know that it's all been cleaned up, tidied up, repaired, so they're getting a better condition version of the game. But still, another game that I've been waiting for a good year or two to add to the collection. Forgotten Worlds. I've been after this game for the longest time at a decent price, and I've also got the Panini collector's card to go inside it. I've been looking so forward to getting this, and I couldn't believe it was on the shelf. As soon as I saw it, it was another, yep, I'll have it if it's complete, and it is complete, and it's in great condition. Of course, I've got the Mega Drive card, the Panini card, so I've added that in there for a complete in-box version of Forgotten Worlds. Need to get a little bit of time with this game, but I didn't really clock that this was a shoot 'em up. I don't know why. For the longest time, I had this in my head as a platformer. I guess because of the cover art, but no, it's very much a shoot 'em up. Izzy's Quest for the Olympic Rings is next. I've had a little time with Izzy's Quest for the Olympic Rings. Again, this version in very good condition. Look at that manual. And the cartridge is also in good condition. The cartridge label was lifted, but we managed to get some glue underneath that and just get that back down again. So a good condition game. Visually really nice. simplistic in its games design, but yeah, it's nice to look at. So from this point, the show's gone from there's nothing here for me to being one of the best pickups I've ever had for the Sega Mega Drive. And things were only going to get better, because as we were walking through the show, Sega Head spotted a Mega CD2 in really good condition, hidden away on the top shelf of a seller's store. So I rushed over there, we did a little bit of haggling, he showed me what we got inside the box. I was pretty happy that everything was there. There were a few things missing, but nothing I can't replace. But the important thing is that this box was in really good condition. It needed a little bit of repair to it, but nothing I couldn't handle. I couldn't resist it. I've added a Mega CD Mark II to the collection as well. So here is the beast itself. Now, the box itself, structurally in really good condition, and that's what I bought it for primarily. It's mostly complete, and we'll go through that in a second. I did do a lot of cleaning up on the edges. There was a lot of scuffing on the edges. The box was looked after, you know, just general wear and tear. These flaps down here had all separated quite a lot. So all the card had separated. There's like 5 or 10 layers of card, and you could kind of fan it. It was really separated. So that's all now glued back together. Same with this bit here. You can see it's a little bit wrinkly where it's been opened and closed over time. So that's all been restored. Exactly the same on the other side as well. You can probably see here, I need to flatten those a little bit better, but these were all separated. The card had completely separated there, so managed to fix that up. And a lot of the wear and tear on it, I've managed to kind of restore back into the original box. Again, did another cardboard wash on it, just a pH neutral cloth, which is just slightly damp. Went over the whole box, and you know, no one cleans boxes, and I wouldn't recommend doing it unless you know what you're doing. But once you go over a box and you give it a good clean, a lot of dirt comes off, a lot of dirt from years of it being on shelves and people kind of handling it. And then once it's cleaned up, it actually kind of pops really nicely. Let's take a look at what I actually got inside the Mega CD2 and what I've had to replace and add to it to get it as close as I can so far to a full complete Mega CD2. So here's the Mega Drive 2 unboxed. I'll take you through everything that I've had to add back into the collection and anything that's missing from this set. My hope is that I can get this as close to complete as possible. So first off, got this top piece of card, which is original, which is really nice. Usually people chuck this, so you wouldn't get this. And then as we open this, you'll find that the way this is laid out is the way that the Mega Drive, at least this variant of Mega Drive, was shipped. Everything is in its correct place, and it took me a while to find a reference for where everything goes. So to start off with, it didn't come with the games, so I've had to add the 2 games there. Luckily, these are super cheap to pick up, so I just got those from CEX for I think like £2 each. In really good condition as well, which is a surprise. This cardboard piece here that holds the games and acts as a kind of divider, I refabricated this. So this didn't come with it, so it's refabricated. I rebuilt this from scratch off of reference pictures there. Manual comes with it, and we've got 2 screws in here. These are the 2 screws that bolt into the Mega Drive 1 plate and hold it in place. I am missing this screw that bolts the plate into the Mega Drive 2 and the Mega CD2. So that's something I have to find. If anyone knows where I can get one, let me know. I couldn't find one easily by looking online. But this is how the manual was set in the box. These 2 bits here push the manual, and you just got this nice reset here. Right. Power pack here. So all I've done here is I've built a custom bag. So I've got a plastic that's very similar to the plastic they used back in the 90s. This had an elastic band around it, and I've just replaced that for the black cable ties that you've got for the Mega Drive. So new custom bag, new cable tie on the power pack. Same with this. This is the support for the Mega Drive 1. New custom bag, so I just built this custom bag here. I've got a device that kind of melts and seals bags, so we've built that. Again, same sort of plastic you'd find it in originally. I don't have a bag for the Mega Drive 2 because they came with the kind of PA warning bags about suffocation. I do need to kind of figure out how I can either fabricate new ones or get someone that sells them so I can get the Mega Drive 2 and a couple of the other consoles with bags. Now, something that is also missing, there is an AV cable and an audio jack cable. We did discuss this when I was buying it, whether it came with it or not. Neither of us could remember, but it was not a big deal because it's easy to replace. And they haven't arrived yet, but I've got them both on order, and they go into this bag here, which just slots down the side there. Let's take this out. Now, the Mega CD2 itself was in really good condition. The person selling it said it was his private one and it was really well looked after. This was heavily scratched. It usually is, as you're putting in the Mega Drive and the plates, it scratches it. But I actually use an anti-scratch cream that you use for watch faces, and it gets rid of light scratches, and you can use it on shiny gloss surfaces. So I went over here and I went over this, cleaned it up a treat. Now, it doesn't get rid of big, deep scratches, but all the light scratches and scuffing, it gets rid of, and it makes it look like new. So this is really nice now. Same with this, really came up a treat. But I didn't have to do much apart from that and some deep cleaning because the Mega Drive 2 was in such great condition. Underneath the Mega Drive 2, we've got this piece of card here. Again, this came with it. I didn't have to rebuild that. It's really nice. Another piece of card that's usually missing from the Mega Drive 2. And then underneath here, we've got the plate. Now, this plate had some corrosion on it. It's a kind of corrosion where I think it's like grease, because you can see lots of fingerprints in it, but it kind of reacts with the metal and then becomes like this kind of rust corrosion. Easy to clean that off. So I just got a very fine grit, like sandpaper for steel, and just went over it. You can perhaps see some of the scuffing there, but just cleaned it up and polished it and made it look silver again. Again, built 2 new custom bags for the heat shields here and for this heat shield here. And then this here has a PE bag on it, an anti-suffocation warning bag on it. I did have one spare, so I wrapped it in that. Now, I have seen some pictures where people have cardboard in here, but I don't think this came with cardboard originally. But again, if you've got a Mega Drive 2 that's complete, let me know if this had a piece of cardboard that also sat on top of it. But this is the plate that fixes this piece here to the Mega CD2. And that's it. Not far away, I think, from getting a nearly fully complete, really good condition Sega Mega Drive 2. Now we have a little bit of a treat because redistribute have sent me the Sega Saturn controller. So I'm going to give you a preview. We won't do an in-depth review, but as far as I'm aware, I don't think these are on sale generally in Europe yet. So this is going to be a first look at this new controller. So here's the box. Really, really nicely presented. As always, redistribute do a great job of presenting their peripherals and their special edition games. But let's take a look inside as well. So let's take off this sleeve here. Very nice, very nice. Really like the presentation of these boxes and the controllers that redistribute do, and of course all officially licensed by Sega as well. So these are official Sega controllers for all intents and purposes. Nice thank you card, instruction manual, and here it is. Kind of simple. We've got the controller, we've got 2 adapters. There's a USB adapter, so I guess that means you can plug it into your PC and play on your PC. And I guess you could do the same for the Switch, or I guess the Switch actually probably pairs with it straight away. But and what I will probably mostly be using it for, this is the Sega Saturn adapter. So I'll definitely predominantly be using this with the Sega Saturn. Right, let's have a look at the controller. We've got this protective film on it. Let's see if we can get this off. There we go. Ooh, very nice. Very nice. Right. What are these sticks? They have L3 and R3. They are Nintendo Switch sticks. Excellent. Very nice. Very nice. It feels slightly bigger than the original controller. What I'll do is a full review on this. It feels a little bit bigger, but actually that feels quite nice in the hands. These bigger triggers at the back here feel really good. They're not micro switches. So my Saturn controller has micro switches in the top triggers at the top here. The shoulder buttons, they're micro switches. These haven't got micro switches in them. What if you could swap out these for micro switches? But just holding it in my hand feels really nice. Looks very authentic as well. Awesome. I can't wait to do a more in-depth review on this. So these games I picked up from a mixture of eBay and private sellers. And first off, we've got Flintstones. And again, another game that I've been waiting for a while to get into the collection, but people were trying to get 40, 50 pounds for it. Ended up paying 25 for it. It's an okay platformer, a lot better than the Master System version of the game, which is horrendous to play. Double Hits is one of those variants that you don't really need in the collection if you're collecting all the single games, but I do like my major variants in the Mega Drive collection. Double Hits, not much to this. It's just a variant. It's a ROM variant, so obviously the cartridge has a different ROM. It's got 2 games on it. This is in great condition, and just really one to add to the collection to make sure I've got all the major variants in there as well. I've had a quick play on it, but to be honest, when you've got the 2 originals, I prefer to play them on original carts. FIFA 98. I've already got 3 versions of this. Second to last variant of FIFA. This is the French variant of FIFA 98. It's in great condition. A little tough to get hold of these variants. The last one I've got to get hold of is the Italian variant of FIFA 98. And then I will truly have a full PAL Sega Mega Drive collection for the EA collection. Mike Ditka, one of the last cardboard box games that I need to get for the full PAL Sega Mega Drive collection. Mike Ditka Power Football. Hard to get these cardboard games in good condition. This one's in pretty good condition, a little bit of wear on the corners. I don't mind that wear, that's not too bad. The rest of the box is in fantastic condition. There's 3 variants of this game. This is the more common one found in Europe with the kind of lighter green cover. There's a darker green which you can find in the US, and then there's like a classic hits version of it as well, which was sold in both territories. Now you can buy all 3 variants in all of the territories that it was sold in, but we tend to find this lighter green one here more in Europe. And again, complete in box registration cards, promotional cards, coaching tip card, the game, everything. So really happy with the condition of this cardboard game for the Sega Mega Drive. This was a stunning show for me. One of the best I've ever experienced for picking up Mega Drive stuff for my collection. And it's the best way to collect games. Now I do buy stuff on eBay and on Facebook, but I prefer to go to these shows, meet people, talk about their collections, learn the story about the games and the consoles that they're selling. It's just that human connection that makes collecting so much more fun. Yeah, I could go out and buy all the Mega Drive games in a couple of weeks and have a full collection, but that's not what it's about for me. It's about talking to like-minded gamers, fans of the same things that I like, discussing our favourite games in the series, learning about new things to do with the Sega Mega Drive, or just retro gaming in general. So I'll be there again in March, hoping to get some more awesome stuff for this great Mega Drive collection. Of course, meet some more awesome people who love the same retro gaming collection hobby that I do. And that's all we've got for this week's show. I'll catch you on the next one.